Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. I hope everyone's all well and looking forward to Christmas Day, which is coming up in a few days' time. I'm here tonight to do the final after hours video of 2025. What a miserable year it has been. I will say that it's been a year from a West Ham point of view, a year to forget. Do you know what I'm saying? We're going to have to go into 2026 in a sort of negative aspect, but I'm here to talk about it and also other stuff. Chuck your comments in. I'm going to be here for about 90 minutes. So, that's it. That's what it is on that. Right, let's just check everything out. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. Nicholas Vorkrug. Um, yes. The German twat. That's what I'm going to call him. Do you know what I mean? Um, I've seen all the videos, man, and I'm going to be straight. Like, the videos are disgusting. Him literally twerking. Even someone said it earlier on, yeah. They turned around and said that even he hasn't even got into the training ground in Milan and he's got the cameras in his face and he wants to be the main attraction. Yeah, it is laughable. It really is. Right, let's get to Hammerhead. First comment of the night. Evening, James. Merry Christmas to you and the family. Hope you have a good one. Thank you very much, mate. You too. Best wishes for 2026 and good health. There's a lot I'm going to reflect on really in over the next few days, especially this year, like doing this game and like mucking people and like looking at people in different ways and things like that. But you live and learn. At the end of the day, you live and learn. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, and all that game. Do you know what I'm saying? Uh, Hi James, Daz. Hope you're good, man. Hope you're doing well out there in the world. Evening, James. Steel structure was horrendous. Take the 7 million for him and move on. 7 million. What a joke, isn't it? That's 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 West Ham down to a T. Now I see a video earlier on, and I'm gonna go through a few things. People are starting to realise that Sullivan's on transfers. You know what I'm saying? They've actually forgotten that Sullivan's on transfers now. And yeah, it ain't looking good, mate. It's not looking good when you've got that geezer on transfers. Do you know what I mean? As long as he ain't doing it from the nick, let's be honest, that's what we want. So, Uh, big German lump of useless lard. He won't get a single moment at Milan. He's better off cooking bratwurst in the club kitchen. I think I've gnawed that up, but I do apologise. Do you know what I mean? Don't hate the player, hate the game. Merry Christmas to you. Um, all we need is to do a lot in January. Do we? Cool, do we, heck? Some of the stuff that we've got to try and do in January, mate. Like, we are asking for miracles in January. I think Traore's done though. Right, I don't know why. I've got a feeling there's a transfer done. Because no way, sure to God, West Ham can't be that crazy to go and get rid of someone and then, you know, just leave it empty. But this is West Ham United. So, anything is possible, people. Anything is possible. Nicholas Falker could be out and Traore could be our new striker. Do you know what I'm saying? Dan, how you doing, mate? The link is in the chat. Anyone who wants to come on tonight? I'm going to go for 90 minutes. Anything you want to discuss? I'll tell you what. Someone sent me a message earlier on, yeah, and they said, James, check this video out, right? And it was Sam Matterface talking to Simon Jordan about West Ham today, and some of the stuff that it was coming out with, even they are very sceptical of whether West Ham can stay up. Like, they are on tender hooks at the minute, big time, right? Whether West Ham can stay up. So, you know, it's a worry. It is a worry. But listen, as I said the other day on the video, right? I stand by this. I really do. It's not over yet. It's not over yet, man. Right? There is still hope and there is still time, right? But I look at Nuno now to say, right, over to you, son. This is your time now. Show us what it means to be a West Ham manager. Because people keep saying to me, he hasn't got his players, he hasn't got this. I see an excellent performance against Newcastle United. Against Newcastle United, I see a brilliant performance, right, from start to finish. So it's in there. He's just got to get it out. Do you know what I'm saying? So, um, Hockney boys, Oz. Shout out to them guys, man. All right, James. At least he's out, but must get a prolific striker in. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. Joe was done it right, and there is a lot really, and I could go into quite a lot. The structure of West Ham that's the main thing that's wrong with West Ham because Mikel Antonio, right? We all knew Mikel Antonio was going to leave this club at one stage in his career, right? He was never going to be here until he's 80. The problem is they never had a plan. They never have a plan, West Ham. It's always we get red, we're Sue's available. We get red, we're Sue's available. So you're not thinking down the road. I look at Brentford as a prime example. They get rid of Ivan Toney, one of their best players that they've had in recent history. Yeah, goal scorer and all that, and they go and get this new Brazilian kid, right, who's scoring goals in the Premier League. So if they can do it, why can't West Ham do it? The reason why West Ham can't do it, and it is pretty simple, because David Sullivan. That is the reason, and there's no other reason other than that. I'm seeing debates on social media about managers. Moyes again keeps coming up into the equation again. But my argument is this, right? People ask for change, right? Because you didn't get the change that you asked for, right? That's because we've got David Sullivan in charge, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know what I mean? And that is the reason why the change wasn't what you expected, because David Sullivan does the same thing over and over again. That's the problem. And apparently, Nuno and him are at war in the transfer with transfers already. So that's a problem. Do you know what I mean? I just look at it right now, yeah, right. My attitude is Fulham, Brighton, right, and then once January the 1st happens, I expect West Ham to act early in this window, right? They can't be leaving anything like to the side. They've got to start early. And if Sullivan does what he does again, he he needs to be fucking literally thrown out the LS, right? And that is no joke. Right, he needs to literally be thrown head first with his Russian out of the fucking LS if he starts late, because that is a criminal offence if he starts late. Honestly, but the geezer. What's sad about the whole thing is that we all know, and most of us, right, want this geezer out the door. There's still a few people out there who are right up his arse, and fuck knows what they're tasting, because I do not understand how anybody can defend this owner, because he's been like this for years. He does the same thing over and over again for years. So I don't understand how people defend him, but they do, right? The issue I've got is that we've got to trust this geezer in the window now. That's the problem. And if he doesn't play ball, this could go bad very quick, right? Because I'm seeing reports coming out that Nuno's not looking at a centre half now, right? Then he's not looking at a striker. I'm going to tell you straight, as someone who's straight down the line with you, right? It's propaganda. There's going to be signings, but don't get your hopes up on the personnel who you think it's going to be. I think Traore's done. I think it's for Kruger out, Traore in. That's what I believe is the first signing that's coming through the door. I'm hearing things, and yeah, it feels like they're going to try and get that one done as soon as possible, right? So we're going to see Traore on the 27th. Let's hope he don't rip us a new one. Do you know what I mean? Because I do believe he will be joining West Ham in the January window. After that, I don't know who else is coming, if I'm being real. Cresswell is a link from the summer that has been recycled and recycled and recycled consistently over and over again. Does Charlie Cresswell fancy West Ham in a relegation battle right now? Right, and that's the problem. There's a lot of players out there who will look at West Ham and think, is it worth going and playing for West Ham when they're in a relegation dogfight? Some of them are going to turn it away. They really are. So, let's get to Irons TV, James, because they're in denial. They can't accept. They're clueless. I think you're regarding to my comment about people that are with Sullivan. Yeah, I will never be with that geezer, mate. And listen, I understand it from people that they wanted to see better, right? I understand it, right? And I'm going to be honest, I was very anti against it. Like, I mean, like proper anti against it. When people started going at the manager before, I was like, no, I'm not having it, right? I was very anti it. When I look back now, I think these people, all they wanted was better. And you can ask for better. The issue is, right, we're not going to get better until we get Sullivan out this door. That's the problem. And the longer he's here, the worse it's going to get, right? Come the January window, I think West Ham need 4 players. Like, I really do. I think West Ham need four players. And, I didn't even know there was an under-21 game on tonight, mate, if I'm being honest, Roy. I know you just put it in the comments there, but I didn't even know. Where are they playing? They're playing over Dagenham tonight. They can't be. A stupid night to have a flipping under-21 game 2 days before Christmas. Let's have a look. Do, 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 do. Show you what, they don't really advertise it well. They really don't. Game on against the shots. Is that older shot they're playing? Do that. Yeah, it's older shot in the cup. National League Cup. 2-0 up. Well, the boys are going to be doing it, aren't they? Do you know what I'm saying? But there you go. There's a prime example there, right? You got a lot of young talent there, and we should be looking at developing these players and getting them into the first team as soon as possible. But we don't do it. That's the thing. We don't seem to be interested in doing so. But listen, I've had enough. I keep talking about Sullivan. If I'm honest, I really am. I just feel like he's he's never going to go away until we force him out the door. Now, I did see a comment just a minute ago, yeah, which I will get to. Where is it? Where's the comment that I've seen? It goes from Irons TV. I've got 200 red cards coming to be handed out in the next few games, thanks to Paul Bubbles from Hammers United. Do you know what? I'm not against that. I'm not. I'm personally not against the like the cards and all that. It ain't gonna have the same impact, mate. Like, if I'm being real, what it is, you've got to make the media. You've got to get the media on board. And once you get them, when there was a march, it was all over the media, right? I can guarantee you go out to a game with a card in there. Also, I'll tell you what was good was the sitting. The sittings were also done very well. Yeah, you go to the game, you sit in after the game, and you protest from your seat, right? So then one sort of I like the wow factor. Do you know what I mean? Like the shock factor. Then the cards one, if I'm honest, I don't think we'll do a lot. Right, I'm not being negative on it, right? Because I want them to succeed, but I've got to be real. I've got to be real. Uh, I would also sell Paqueta this window. Useless. Yeah, mate. I tell you what, if we have to do something this window. Like, we have to. Like, we really do. Um, right, let's go through it then. Obviously, the January window, and I want to first question I'm going to ask you in the chat is how many players do you think West Ham need? I've seen people saying that we need 8 players at one stage. Right. I've seen people saying that we need 2 centre halves, we need a striker, if not two, a left-sided attacker. If you're getting rid of Guido Rodriguez, Ward Prowse, and Andy Irving, you've got to replace them with at least two. How many are we all saying here that we need? The sit-ins are great if 40,000 do it, not 2,000. That's a fair comment. That is actually fair. If everyone did do it after, it would have the desired effect. Like you've got to have the shock factor, but that is true. What you're saying there. Um, right, let's get to a few of these comments here. Right, Paqueta needs to be dropped. For me, he gives the ball away too much. He fucking actually does, mate. Right, let's get to these. Right, I've got two. Damon saying two, Kev saying four. I agree with Kev. I'm about three or four. I think we need striker, left-sided attacker. Um, we need a centre half, and I think if we're going to get rid of Ward Prowse and other players, we're going to need another midfielder in there. So I'm going to say four. We've got he's changed his mind. He's gone three now. Right, let's get to John Campbell. I always said, James, from Sullivan Gold, RIP, and Brady bought us over. Give it time, and they will do a Birmingham on us. And now it's coming to fruition. Fucks. I'm 64 now, and I've supported our club age. Do you know what, mate? When I had the Birmingham fan on, I'll never forget when I had the Birmingham fan on here, right? I had him on in the afternoon before the Chelsea game. Now, let's all go back to the Chelsea game. Well, let's not, because we got absolutely demolished against them. We played Chelsea on a Friday night. That was our first Friday night game that we had played all season, and it was at the start of the season. And I'll never forget the interview I done with the Birmingham fan, and he basically told me what the kryptonite is for Xavier Sullivan, right? And the moment fan pressure upped, they were on the back foot. I've got nothing against Hammers United at all. I think what they're doing is brilliant, right? I really do, right? Um, but I don't think what them sort of protests are going to hit hard, right? You've got to do the shock factor. Yeah, you've got to get the media involved consistently, and you've got to make it a nightmare. Like doing a sort of quiet protest with a card, I just don't think does it. I don't think it gets the right. It doesn't. Let's put it like this: it doesn't get it in the papers. Let's put it like that. When they done the boycott and they done the march, who's me? When they done the sit-in, that's when it hit. Like it was on the media every day. So um, John's saying 10. That's a bit much, mate, isn't it? Let's be real. Um, there were the excuses in the squad is too many dead weight midfielders. I think there's a load of reasons, mate. I think the main reason with West Ham is the last 2 years. The last 2 years have been a nightmare, and that goes back to signing the players. The ones that are doing me at the minute, the ones that are doing me are the ones where the linked players. And I tell you what, the fucking lies, right, are unnatural. Like people, someone put something up on Twitter the other day, yeah, and they said like the clickbait stuff that is coming out of certain forums, right? And what does me is no one calls it out. Like you can see it, like you can go, that's bollocks, but no one says anything. Like, and I don't understand what. And then if someone like me says something, or another YouTuber says something, everyone thinks we're lying. Do you know what I mean? It's like they've got like this trance in them, right? And they go, right, we're gonna believe him, but we're not gonna believe a word he says. Right. I can't work it out myself. I really can't. Let's get to Hammerhead. I won't lie. I'd like to see Guilherme get more of a chance than Somerville. I think Somerville needs to work on his end product, Ben Rama 2.0. Do you know what? Someone said to me last night on a TikTok live that I did. Crescencio Somerville scored one goal for West Ham since he's been here. That was against Man United. He hasn't scored another goal. He hasn't even looked like scoring another goal. Um, I think I think he's got all the goods, but there's no end product, and that's the killer thing. I know, like the end product is what we need to succeed. James, mate, we had 85 days in the summer. Car, mate, yeah. Like I tell you what, great comment, yeah, to lead on to. let's talk about the summer that we had in 2025. Right? Fuck me sideways. If there was ever a nightmare, yeah, and you thought, right, what is the worst scenario that you could have in a nightmare? That summer window was it. Completely it. Right, Mohamed Kudus deciding to go to Spurs. Sullivan, no one else. Sullivan going to Daniel Levy and turning around and saying that we've got a player if you're interested. And John Victor at the fucking airport, right? It was just a complete mess. Before I let Alex come in, yeah, it was just a complete mess, right? And that summer window, I will never forget, right? I remember doing a video, I got clipped up by Spurs, literally fucking, I got absolutely ruined by all them lot. But I will never forget that summer window, right? And then what it was the famous line of, "We've got to sell before we can buy." Yeah, make it make sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. Let's get Alex.
Yeah, mate.
Alex, what are you saying, mate? Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having me on, mate.
No worries.
Can't be on for like too long. Just got in from the works do. So I've had a few of the kids playing up, but I have been listening little bits of bobs like to what's been going on, but I've missed quite a bit because of signal and whatnot. But where were we?
I'll tell you what, I'll go through it with you. Give us your rundown of 2025 from a West Ham point of view, because like it's everything from January last year when Potter come in against Villa.
Yeah.
After Nuno got the sack and up until the present day now. It's been a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, when Potter came in, I remember that first game against Villa because I was in Villa Park. I travelled up there to go and watch the FA Cup game, and I remember initially being quite impressed with the performance that we put in. It looked like we put in quite a bit. There was a lot more energy in the side, and I was hopeful that things were going to really improve after that. I remember it's like Falkirk looked really good, Somerville looked really good, Bowen looked really good, but then Falkirk and Somerville both went off injured, and you put a right damper on it. We lost, but things just never really improved under Par. And then it was like, okay, well, he's had all these players that are not his players. We need to give him time. Maybe he'll get a couple of signings in. Then he only brought in Evan Ferguson, really. He didn't really do anything. And then it was like, oh, we'll just go through the season. We'll stay in the Premier League because there's just 3 crap teams in here, so we don't really have to worry about that. Also, Man United and Tottenham were massively underperforming as well, so that kind of helped us out. And then you thought, right, you get to the summer, maybe we'll get some players in, and then we'll see what he does. And like the vibes over the summer were really good. You saw all the social media posts and you thought, yeah, no, things look good. It seems like everyone's happy. It seems like there's a real togetherness around the squad. And that's what he kind of felt like at the end of the season. But it was just crap from the very beginning. It became very clear that Sullivan never really wanted Potter, never really wanted him. He was a manager that we brought in just because Karen Brady's husband was good mates with him. And I think as soon as Nuno was sacked by Nottingham Forest and available, that kind of just like the Sullivan was like, yeah, no, I want to bring him in. And it's just I don't know. This year has just been just depressing. Just one thing after another. It's like you get a little bit of hope. You have like one game where you're like, oh yeah, no, things look like they're going to turn around, and then you have 4 games where it just feels like you're just going backwards all the time.
Do you think we're destined to go down?
I don't think we're destined to go down.
No,
I don't think we're destined to go down. I do see that he is like very much a possibility, given the position that we're in right now and the squad that we've got and some of the results that we're getting. But I don't think it's destined that we will go down because there's still 21 games to play. There's still a lot that can change. We've got the transfer window coming up. You never know. We might actually be able to bring some players in. I do wonder if all the protests so far might have forced Sullivan's hand into trying to do something to try and get the fans back on side. And also, at the end of the day, Sullivan won't want to get relegated because he loves that TV money too much. So he might actually decide to put his hands in his pocket and actually get some deals over. Will we get the right deals in? That's another question entirely. But I've seen some positives under Nuno. I think I've seen a lot more positives under Nuno than I saw under Graham Potter. I think I've seen a little bit more fight from the team. I've seen positives like Freddie Potts coming into the side. I think our midfield looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Look, really, really vulnerable at the back. Really vulnerable at the back. That is just such a worry at the moment, especially.
But with the positives, though, Alex, are they enough to keep us in the league?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Like, that is the big question. I think tactically, Nuno has been very questionable in a lot of games this season. Especially like where we've got ahead, like in the Bournemouth game and the Brighton game. Like the Bournemouth game especially, I was absolutely fuming with what he done in that second half. Absolutely fuming what he done in that second half. Taking off the attacking players, going so defensive, so early on, putting us under unnecessary pressure. So we ended up conceding 2 goals. I was absolutely fuming with that. I was fuming with his starting lineup against Leeds. I wasn't happy with the one against Brentford, but I kind of understood at the time, well, maybe he just wants to have a look at everyone and see how they do. But I was particularly like fuming after that game because when you go into the Leeds game, you clearly saw it didn't work against Brentford. So why are you starting this again? So that really annoyed me. And also kind of against Brighton a little bit. He didn't go defensive so early on, but yet again went kind of defensive kind of late, put us under unnecessary pressure. We weren't really under threat in that Brighton game of conceding until we made those substitutions, and then they managed to get that equaliser. Whether it should have stood right is another matter entirely. But I do think in a lot of those games as well, we have looked a lot better on the ball. We have looked a little bit more of a threat. I think we have looked a little bit better defensively. We haven't conceded a goal from a corner since he's come in. Like that is a positive.
Yeah.
We were conceding a goal from nearly every single bloody corner that was coming into the box. But we haven't done that since he's come in. So I think that's one thing he's improved. But I think there's also individual mistakes. Players that are not performing to the top level. Like Kilman, I didn't understand him coming in. There were rumours that Mavropanos wasn't 100%, and that's why he came in.
Yeah,
maybe, but the midfield is definitely a positive for me. But is it enough at the moment?
I don't think.
I would say no. I don't think it's enough at the moment. I think we need players.
Yeah, definitely need players in. What it is with him, right, for me, is that I'm very on the fence with him at the minute because of what you just said. All the rash sort of outbreaks of like you're in control of a game at Bournemouth and you shut up shop on the 52nd minute. The Brighton one, if we continue the way we're going, we win that game. Because we was in control and we had them under control. The Villa one, I think, was just like that was just West Ham of old, really, conceding early in the second half, and then that was it. Do you know what I mean? And even the subs in that game, right? Him sitting there not making a sub. And then as soon as they score, he goes and makes a sub.
The subs in that game really confused me as well. But I come away from that Villa game really frustrated because I felt that we deserved something from that game. If it wasn't for an absolute weldy by Rodgers, we probably would have got something from that game. It's really difficult because I've come away from a lot more games recently thinking that we deserve more than what we actually got. And I haven't felt that way about a West Ham performance in a long time. Before, it was more, if we come away from a result, I was coming away from it thinking we were lucky to get something from that game. Now I'm coming away from games thinking we were unlucky not to get more from a game. If you know what I mean. So I think there's a lot more positives that way, but there's definitely a lot of things that we need to improve. And if we're looking at signings, I did see a little bit earlier, talking about the amount of signings that we need in. I think it's very clear that we definitely need a striker in. We definitely need a centre back in. I think we need another winger in personally. If we're not going to use Guilherme, if we're not going to use any other players in those wing positions, then I think we 100% need another winger. One injury to Joe Bone, we're absolutely screwed. We are absolutely screwed. Not because he has been number one best player all season. I mean, he is our top goal scorer at the moment, but we've got no one else who can play down there. No one else who can do what he can do down that right-hand side. So I actually feel like we need another 2 wingers would be nice. Because, again, we're not using Guilherme. Adama Traore I think he's destined to come into West Ham. Do I think that he's in the outside? No, I don't. I do think he has a lot of pace. I do think he has a lot of strength, but very similar to Somerville at the moment. I don't think he has a lot of end product. But
yeah. Traore, I'll be very shocked if Toure's not at West Ham come January.
I will be as well.
Yeah, like I think he's absolutely destined to turn up here because Nuno wanted him at Forest and Nuno wants him here. So I think this is on Nuno. Yeah. Right, I'm going to ask you something now. Yeah, you got 4 games coming up. 4 games in 11 days.
Yeah.
How many points do you think West Ham would get, and how many points would you be realistically happy with?
So we got Fulham, then we got Brighton, then we got Wolves, and then we got Forest, haven't we?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So the Fulham game, I won't be happy with anything but a win. I want 3 points in that game. We should be getting 3 points in that game. I watched Fulham last night. They looked decent, but still, at home, we need to be getting 3 points. So that is the only result I'm going to be happy with when it comes to that game. The Brighton one is a little bit more difficult because they are such a bogey team for us. But as long as we don't lose that, I'll be fine. The Wolves game, we need a win. Everyone else is winning there. We need to go there and win. If we become like the first team to lose against them in the league, as well as Cup, the only team to lose against them this season, I think that is going to be bloody embarrassing. So we need to be picking up 3 points in that game as well. And the Forest one at home, I think that is a must win. Like, given their position, compared to us at the moment, that is a potential like 6 pointer. I won't be disappointed if we necessarily don't win it, but belongs we get a draw. But I think out the next 4 games, I want to see us pick up at least 8 points. I would like to see us go through the next 4 games unbeaten, and I think that's very possible given the next 4 games. I think it's very possible to go through the next 4 games unbeaten. We've gone games unbeaten, but I want to see we need some wins. We can't keep on drawing games. We can't keep on conceding late goals. When we go 1-0 up, we can't just sit back. We need to go at them. We need to try and get a second. And then once we've done that, we need to try and get a third. We need to keep on taking it. We are going into too many games at the moment with the mindset of don't lose. We need to go into these games with the mindset of we must win.
Yeah, it's a mentality issue that West Ham's got currently right now, and they can't get out of it. It's like, I don't know whether it's Nuno or it's the team. I think it's a bit of both. Like, I think Nuno has a bit of a nosebleed when he goes 1-0 up. And even Forest said to me, they said, Jay, he literally goes into his shell, right? He tries to see a game out from a position. And with us at the minute, we've conceded every game so far with him in charge, right?
Yeah.
And that means we've got to score. That means we've got to score 2 goals a game to win a game. Do you know what I mean? Which is impossible to do. If you're trying to stay in the league, you've got no chance of doing that. Do you know what I mean?
No. So we got to start a striker as well, because that was my argument after the Man City game. No, I mean the Man City game was just always going to be a loss. That game is always going to be a loss. You kind of throw off. But if you're not going to start a striker, then you're on the back foot straight away. And I said exactly the same thing. If we know that we're going to concede at least 1 goal in a game, that means that we need to score at least 2, which means that we need the best players up front that are going to be able to score goals. And I'm sorry, Lucas Paquetá playing as a false 9 is not the best solution. He just isn't. You need to put a striker on there. Now, I do think that Callum Wilson will start against Fulham, and I think he will start against Brighton as well. I think he might be rested for the Wolves game, possibly. I think that's probably why he wasn't started in the Man City game, because Nuno probably looks at it and thinks, maybe we'll rest him a little bit.
Yeah.
Make sure that he's not injured for these games, because while this game may not be a winnable game, those 2 games definitely are winnable games. So I kind of understood why Nuno didn't start Wilson, but he needs to be starting in the next 2 games. Where's
your head at with Lucas Paquetá?
On his day, he's absolutely brilliant. Like, when he's playing to the top of his ability, he's absolutely brilliant. He's a game changer. He can control games.
Yeah.
We just don't see it anywhere near enough. We do not see it anywhere near enough. And it's just so frustrating because you know the ability that man has. but we haven't seen him play on a consistent basis at the top level since his very first season at West Ham, really. Like his second season, he was a little bit hit and miss. He did all right. But he's like last season, he was really poor. This season, I think he's been pretty poor as well, apart from a couple of games where he has looked better. He needs to be getting on the assists. He keeps on trying to play those balls over the top, but they just never kind of they never come off.
We're always defending. Do you know what I mean? So like it's very hard to sort of set an attack up if we're always defending. I'm a bit mixed on him, Alex, if I'm honest. I thought the Liverpool game, I thought he let down the whole fan base. In my opinion, I felt like when you're going out having rows on the pitch, like, and of all the days and all, like, there's a time and a place for everything, yeah. And sometimes I think people need to sort of like look at it and go, right, let's just shut my mouth on this one because like everyone's in mourning basically. But I don't know, mate. I don't know with him. Like, I feel like is he a sort of player that you want in a relegation dogfight now?
Yeah, no, that's always my question. I heard someone say this. I can't remember who said it. Say he's a luxury player. He's a luxury player. He's a player that you have in a side that's doing well, and you don't mind if he loses the ball occasionally. But when he's losing the ball occasionally in a side that is struggling and needs to get wins, it's really, really frustrating to watch. So he's a luxury player, and I don't think that's what we need right now. I definitely wouldn't sign him against Fulham, in my opinion. I wouldn't. I would have a front three of Somerville, Wilson, and Bowen. I'd have the midfield of Fernandez, Potts, and Magassa. The defence is a bit of a question. Like, I definitely have like Mavropanos over Kilman at the moment.
Yeah,
I think he's been better than Kilman alongside Todibo. You have Carl Walker-Peters. It's who plays on that left. That's a real question. Or who plays on the right if Carl Walker-Peters comes on the left? Because Scholes is now. He went off injured. I don't know how bad that injury is, but he went off injured in the last game, so I don't know if he's going to be fit and available. I don't think Nuno likes Igor at all because he wasn't even on the bench for the last game. I like the idea of Ezra Reyes, but he just does not have the experience at this point for for what we need. So that is a little bit of a concern for me going into this next.
What I can see on that is I can see Mavropanos playing right back because he played there at Stuttgart. When he was there, and I can see Carl Walker-Peters playing at left back, and then you got Kilman and Todibo. I think Kilman's going to play. It's not good, like, because he's been fucking awful, and for £40 million we've been absolutely robbed, blind. But that's what I can see, like whether or not it's going to be enough, because I'm thinking the same as you, mate. I don't know who else there is. Like, who else is there who can play on that side, who's defensive minded and who can do the job?
The only other thought I've got is, do we go to a back three and play wing backs and have Somerville do their job on that left hand side, because he can do defensive work. Like that's like the only other option I can kind of think of at the moment. Yeah, which is still not ideal because he's not a defender, but he does do that defensive work. He does get back. That is one of the things that I do really credit him with, like his work rate at getting back and doing and helping out the defence. But he's not exactly the player that you want to be down that wing. But then that still does mean that you've got to start Kilman along that left-hand side. And that man just seems afraid to stick a leg in.
I think he's afraid.
He seems afraid to stick a leg in. He should have stuck a leg in for their second goal. The Man City second goal. Like, he does, like, just stick a leg across, try and tackle it, try and take the ball, try and do something instead of just letting him run past you. Oh, it's just so frustrating to watch.
It is, mate. It really is. Right, before I let you go, I want to ask you about Sullivan. Obviously, you've been to the protests. Obviously, I've seen the like photos and things. What do you make of what's going on with him, and where do you see it going for you?
I've always seen Sullivan as a very stubborn man who doesn't. I think he's used to criticisms. I think he's used to people not liking him. And I always see him as someone who is not going to do anything unless he wants to do it. You know, I think I do wonder if maybe, as I said a little bit earlier, if all the pressure that has been applied on the board over the last few months may impact what he does in this January transfer window.
Yeah,
I do wonder that. because maybe he will do things like say, right, okay, to say, oh look, I have got these players in, I have spent money, I have done this, to give him something to kind of say back to the fans. You know what I mean? You know, as a response. But like long term, he's not the future. He is 100% not the future. There's absolutely nothing that he can do to convince me that I want him to continue running this football club. We are never going to reach our full potential with him running this football club. We just never are, because he does not have the right ambition. He does not have the right mentality. He cares too much about his own finances rather than the club. And they just continuously lie. They lie and mislead. And I wish that they would go, but as I've always said, the only way they're going to go is if someone comes in and offers to buy them out. And who's going to do that with all the other complications that come with that? Because we are very unique as a football club. We're not a club that owns their own stadium. We're not a club, we're not like an Aston Villa that really gets, especially when you're hearing things about, the deal that's in place and things that we can do at the stadium, which is very little. This has all come from the ownership and the deal that they signed at the very beginning that gave us very little wiggle room in regards to the stadium. Now, when you look at the actual stadium, I think it is a mega. I've been around the stadium. I've had a private tour of the stadium. I think it's a magnificent stadium. It is not a football stadium, though. That is the main difference. Like, it's a magnificent stadium. It is beautiful. It's very smart. It looks fantastic, but it's not a football stadium. That's like the big difference with it. Like, you're too far away from the pitch. You've got these massive gaps at either end, which I absolutely hate. The big garden, the one, infuriates me when I'm looking at that thing, because that is just such wasted space. And there is potential for that place to be turned into something a lot better than what it is, but because of the deal that West Ham have signed with the government or the LLDC, whoever bloody owns it these days, we have no control. We have no options when it comes to it. So yeah, I think that is a big option, a big problem at the moment, the stadium. But the owners at the moment don't seem to want to do too much to try and address that issue. Or I don't know if they want to or they can't. I mean, that's the big question. Do they want to do something to change that deal, or they just can't do anything to change that deal?
I think it's because they've got the deal of a lifetime.
They did get that's what it is. Lifetime.
Yeah.
You look at that. You look at that deal. They pay £4.4 million a year. They don't have to pay for any security. They don't have to pay for any of the catering. They don't have to pay for any of the utilities. They just pay £4.4 million a year. They get all the TV money. They get all the ticketing. They're quitting.
Yeah,
they're quitting.
It's a money making sort of machine, isn't it? That's just going round and round and round.
Hello.
But it is what it is. Right, before I let you go, Alex, one question: who's going down for you?
Wolves, yes. Burnley, yes. I think that other one is up for grabs. Obviously, we are definitely within the chat. We're definitely within that discussion. I think Leeds are. I think Fulham are. I think Brentford are. And I think Nottingham Forest will probably just gather. I think Jewel Dice would do enough. That's my main concern when I look at that relegation battle. It's just like, who is going to take our place in that bottom three at the moment? But one thing that did give me a little bit of a little bit, which I saw the other day, the three teams who are in the bottom three at Christmas have never all been relegated in the Premier League history. In the 33 years of the Premier League, the three teams who are in the bottom three at Christmas have never all been relegated. One has always survived. Always survived. And the team that is third bottom is the most likely to survive come the end. Doesn't mean that we are.
Yeah.
You just, like, historically, like, there's a lot can change in 21 games. Transfer window is going to be massive. The next 5, 6, 7 games for us are going to be absolutely massive. So we'll have to wait and see. But I still don't think we're going to go down. I think we're going to do enough. I just couldn't tell you who is going to take that place at the moment for us.
Yeah. For me, I feel like the next 4 will decide it for me, where we're going. I think if we don't if we don't get at least 8 points minimum, right, if not 9, I think we're in trouble. But you know, it is what it is.
I think
Alex,
I
go
think 12 before the end of Jan, because after the Nottingham Forest, I think we've got Wolves, we've got Sunderland at home as well. I
got
think
the
I think I
Spurs in
think
there.
yeah, and Spurs at home. They're the only team in the Premier League who's got a worse home record than us. So to say that we can't go there and get a result, I think is silly because they are terrible at home. So it is possible that we can. It
Yeah,
is possible.
let's hope
It
so,
might not
mate.
be likely, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah. Right. Merry Christmas, Alex. You have a good one,
Hey, Merry
mate.
Christmas to you, mate.
Take it easy. All the best to
You
you.
too.
Peace. That has been Alex. I asked him to come on, get his opinion on West Ham. He does a lot of stuff on TikTok, and he's a big name on TikTok. But listen, I agree. I agree with what people are saying in regards of the worry of going down. I look at it a bit different. I look at it that we have to start now rather than later. Right, the transfer window for me doesn't really come into play until we get these players in the door, and we're asking players to come in the door and hit the ground running straight away, right? And we all know as West Ham fans that don't fucking happen. That don't happen all the time. So, like, it's a hope with us. It's a hope that kills us with with being a West Ham fan. But you know, it is what it is. Leon says, I agree, James. Next 4 games are massive for our season. I do agree. I do agree. I think West Ham have to beat Fulham. I think what it is, whatever happens in the Fulham game will go into the Brighton game. If that makes sense. So just for argument's sake, right? We turn up against Fulham and we draw the game. Yeah, that Brighton game is we've got to win that game. But like the mindset will change from a draw will be fine against Brighton. Yeah, because I agree. Yeah, we've never beaten Brighton at the LS. They've been in the league for how many years? 8, 9 years, is it? Brighton have been in the league. We've never beaten once at the LS. So to go and think we can go and beat them now is mad, right? But you know, evening, James. How are you doing? I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good. I thought I'd do this little video. I've said someone on. Anyone else who wants to come on? Links in the chat. Come on. Can't Nuno get Jimmy working with Wilson for what runs to make and how to finish? I just there's a lot of players who've lost their way at West Ham. Do you know what I'm saying? A hell of a lot of players who've lost their way. I don't think we will go down, but we need to do a lot in January. It's valid. It is valid. Oh me. The biggest issue is losing our fullbacks and being forced to play a different system that's already failed under other managers. Yeah. Mate, if I see him go three at the back, yeah, I think we're asking for trouble because we just can't do it. I remember having this debate years ago, yeah, like years and years ago, and I was on a West Ham channel, um, and one of the lads on there said, "No, three at the back's an attacking system," and I said, "Well, I just don't see how it is. Like, you get loads of the ball, but if you're not a good at holding the ball and passing the ball, how are you supposed to, fucking win games? Do you know what I mean?" I've always liked 4-3-3, and I think West Ham in a 4-3-3 system is the best that you're going to see. Right, when we had Rice, it was 4-2-3-1 because you knew Declan could cover the areas, and you had a front four of Bowen, Ben Rama, Lingard at one stage, Antonio. Like, I feel like when we go three at the back, it just feels like we're so unbalanced. It's unreal. It's 100% going to be 3-5. Imagine that, mate. Honestly, imagine that. Those were the days, lads, weren't it? Those were the days when all was good in the world. But not anymore. Not anymore, indeed. Um, Peter's here. Let's have it, lads. 27, old school. Come on, you irons. I agree, mate. I agree. I think it's just the gloves have got to come off, and we've just got to rock and roll now. Just got to rock and roll. Is there still chat about Lingard? Now, there is. And I can't believe, right? I said it the other day on a video. I can't believe I'm talking about Lingard in 2025. Like, this geezer's like a bad smell, mate. You just can't get rid of. Like, absolutely. Like, drives me mental. Keep hearing this geezer's name. And there's still people now go, yeah, we're having for 6 months. Like, come on. He's 33 years old, right? And we've already had one fucking prick in Forkrug. Why do you want Lingard here and all? Just doesn't make no sense. One thing I will say is that I see a link today of Luis Guilherme to Sporting Lisbon. West Ham should just loan him out for 6 months, right? They should loan him to a club instead of trying to flog him, right? Um, he's very much gassed up, Luis Guilherme, but he hasn't done anything to warrant the praise that he gets. But yeah, like you can't. How can I put it? You can't keep praising up people when they haven't done nothing. And like Luis Guilherme hasn't done nothing at the minute, so you know. Oh, man, I think I've got a chest infection. I think. Bloody heck. I like the idea of 3-4-3 like Almiron plays, but our centre backs are too bad to pull it off. I don't know about that, mate. I just, I think we're trying to be too clever in what we're trying to do. That's the problem I've got. Is West Ham are trying to be too clever when the game's pretty easy, really. Get it ball down. There's the goal. You've got to try and score in it. We brought him in with no plan for development. Yeah, he was Lewis Guilherme, mate. I actually feel sorry for Lewis Guilherme. I genuinely do. I genuinely do. I feel sorry for him because I feel like he was the Tim Steidten fucking PR marquee signing. That's what he was. I remember. Listen, and when I've done this game for 4 years now, right, and I've done spaces over that time, I've got a good memory, and I remember the spaces that we did. I remember the videos that I did on here in regards of it. When we signed him, he looked like a wonder kid, right? But the problem was we didn't need him. We didn't need a Lewis Guilherme in our ranks. He was like, oh, excuse me, like a showpiece signing. Like, look at this Brazilian wonder kid that we've signed from Palmeiras. Like, you know, there was no thinking about it. And at this time and all, we had no midfield. Right, we had Souček, Ward-Prowse, Guido Rodriguez, I think it was, and there was someone else in there who memory evades me, but there was someone else in there who we had, and who was crap. And like, we signed him, and I remember having a row with someone on Twitter, yeah, and they turned around and they said to me, "Oh, like, how do you know he ain't no good? Because if he was any good, he'd be playing ahead of Somerville. Like he would. If he was good, right, and he was on it, he was up for it, he was this and that. Let's be real, Cry hasn't done nothing. He scored one goal in 2 years or 18 months. Like, and I like Crescencio Somerville. I'm not even against the kid, but fuck me, you've got to paint it how you see it. Like, and yeah, it's just a shame with him. It's just a shame. And I feel like West Ham took the piss out of him a little bit, if I'm being real. I see that failing a mile off. Said when we signed him, you're bringing a left-footed winger, attacking midfielder into a squad already has Bowen, Kudus, and Paqueta. Yeah, yeah, I know, mate. Daz, take it easy, mate. Merry Christmas to you. All the best to you, mate. And yeah, I will be back on the 27th. So there you go. There you go. I'm gonna go for another half hour. But it's going to be 90 minutes of pure E20 zoneness. You know what I mean? No one watches me. No one watches me videos no more. So that's why I've got to do longer formats. So is what it is, lads. Is what it is. I tell you what, I will talk about Nicholas Forkrug. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier on. Did you see the videos? Did you see the videos of him? Right, oh man, where's this video? Right, I'm going to show you because it was my blood was boiling. Yeah, and you got pricks like that who down tools. You know, look, this one here. Hold on, check this out.
Hello guys.
That video, I rated me, mate. Absolutely, I rate. Right, we're in a relegation battle, and he's fucked off. So, you know, I reckon he was a problem behind the scenes, right? And I reckon there was a lot of problems behind the scenes because of him. Do you know what? It's a tricky one because what it is, part of me sort of agrees with him to a point that West Ham are fucking just not that good. And he's been at places where the standards have been very, very high. And with Sullivan in charge, you ain't gonna get no fucking standards. But yeah, when I see that video, just my blood was boiling. I was like, this geezer's just literally down tools and fucked off. And I think, do you know what? I actually believe a few players have done that. A few players behind the scenes have sort of gone, you know what, I need to get out of here. Yeah, it's not good. It's just a job for a lot of them. I don't know, mate. I don't know. You can't come out and start saying that you need to see better, you need to see this, you need to see that, and then the shenanigans that's gone on at West Ham doesn't help the situation either. Like having 3 managers in 18 months, like, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I agree with him, but he's been a complete hypocrite. Yeah. I tell you what, I've got this video for you, yeah. This is how much you learn through doing social media, yeah. Check this out, this video that I got here. Oh, let's roll down. Do, 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 do. Where is it? Do, 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 do. Oh, mate, it's ages. Mate, I've still got bookmarks of Potter, you know. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Ah, there it is. Found it. We go. PR merchant. Look, day in the life of Nicholas Forecrew. Are you taking the piss?
One day in life. This guy speaking German.
Shocking, isn't it?
You guys. How are you? Good morning. No, I choose you as my physio. But sure. Bronze has to teach me. Lessons. Adam, you know what we found out? Why Krause likes the sport? Well, there's only set pieces. Yeah. Training done. Ready for training. Let's go on the training. My job point.
It's my job. Look at that. That is just a joke, isn't it?
Go for training session. Training done now, bike session. Looking good? So guys, now we go for lunch. To up the energy, to get some new energy. We're gonna go for some chicken.
Oh, yeah. The arm's gone dead.
Yeah. And then after an intense training session in biking, with a little bit of off time, with some other guys on the driving range, try to hit the ball. It's great. And then it's also, yeah. What a shot. And for me, today is also some media duties.
Media duties, people.
Yeah, we'll have an interview.
Another interview. Oh, here you go. Look. Interview. Look. Another one.
100. Yeah, just one.
Oh, mate.
Just 100.
This fucking geezer loves more interviews than Piers Morgan.
That's right. Yeah. Repeating now. Start with the soup. And come back.
I think he wears two faces, mate.
So guys, end of the day with me. Thank you for following that, and now go to sleep, recover. See you tomorrow. Bye.
How mad's that? How mad's that, people? Like that pissed me off, right? And I kept that because I knew, yeah, I had a feeling that he was going to fuck off at some point, yeah. And the two-facedness of it was just that's so bad, mate. So bad. But at least he's out the door now, I suppose. Like it's a start, innit, of like the rebuild. Fucking more rebuilds than Robocop, innit? Let's be real. Let's get to Sid's comment. He took the piss out of us. He did really, mate. When you sort of weigh it up, he did. He sort of, I think he realised the shit he was in at the club in regards of like his club was not going because don't forget, I believe he was sold a dream, right? I believe when he come in, right, this is the pitch that Sullivan sort of put to him, and that would have been right. What you're here to score the goals to get us back into Europe, and after last season and the disaster of that, he knew that there was no chance of that happening. So he's basically forced to move out. That's what I believe has happened. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain on that. That he's forced to move out. What's done me is that we're in shit, yeah, and it's been confirmed. And we've got basically I'd have made him train, I'd have made him play them games. Well, I remember the game he come on against Bournemouth. He just comes on and run around. So yeah, it's disgusting, really. It really is. 56th striker under the ownership. Fucking hell, mate. 56 strikers. And some of the strikers that I saw on that, right? I've got it here. I stuck it up on Twitter the other day. Absolutely fucking criminal, mate. Where is it? Oh, it is. Right, these are the strikers, yeah. Right, get your head around these strikers that Sullivan signed. Mido, remember him? Egyptian, fucking shit. Benny McCarthy, Elan, right? It was fucking terrible. Picquion, I didn't mind Picquion. I thought Picquion weren't too bad, right? I thought he was a trier, right? At least. Victor Abina. I will never forget the goals he scored against Manchester United in the League Cup when we beat them 4-0 in the snow in December. I think it was December or November. I can't remember when it was. And we beat them. And yeah, Victor Abina, right? I thought he weren't too bad. Pablo Barrera. Do you remember him? Mexican. I think we watched him at a World Cup, I think, if I remember rightly. It must have been the 2000. Was it the 2012? Was it? I can't remember what the World Cup was. What it was, but it was definitely a World Cup we watched him at. Demba Ba. Demba Ba was a great signing for us. Robbie Keane, Sam Baldock, John Carew. Who remembers John Carew? Okay, now I remember when he was at Valencia, and he was very good at Valencia. Comes to us. I'll go through a few others, right? You got Nicky Maynard, ex-Crew, come to us, done nothing. Ricardo Vazte, I can always be grateful for Ricardo Vazte because the goal he scored in 2012 in the playoff final to get us up, you got to rate it. Maega, fucking hell, Maega, mate. I remember the game at Spurs, White Hart Lane, quarter final. I think no, I can't remember what round it was, but we beat them 2-1, and he scored the goal that won us the game. Yeah, what a guy, mate! What a fucking guy. Andy Carroll, who I actually see in the bar now. It's mad. Andy Carroll's on there, and I actually see him in the bar in Dagenham. He literally sits across from where I sit when I go over Dagenham and see a few people over there, and says hello and all that. So yeah, it's mad that like you bump into Andy Carroll, like hat trick against Arsenal in 2015. Yeah, 2016 that was final season at Upton Park. So yeah, that's Andy Carroll. You got Shamaka, you got Gordon, you've got Carlton Carl, Petrovic, you got Enner Valencia, Diafra Sacco was a good signing. I can't fault him. We got Zarate, Nenny. Who remembers Nenny, the Brazilian? Like we always got some like random Brazilian geezer from fuck knows where. Do you remember? Like Mikel Antonio. Like at least you got Mikel Antonio, right? That's a start. Then you got Nikita Jelavic, Emenike, Nigerian centre forward. You've got it gets fucking worse now. Zaza, Jonathan Caleri, Ashley Fletcher, Tony Martinez. Now I remember that geezer, yeah, and then he goes to fucking Porto and he's one of their top strikers. Andre Ayew, Anatovic, Yeve Hernandez, Jordan Hugill, Lucas Perez, Yarmolenko, Sebastian Haller. Who remembers Ajay, Ajay, do you remember like the Swedish? No, not Swedish. He was from Switzerland, right? He was supposed to be, I think he played for Basel or someone. All the rage. All the fucking rage he was, apparently. Comes to West End, does nothing. And then you got the final sort of 5-6, which is Bowen, Skamaka, Maxwell Cornet, Danny Ings, Thor, Krug, and Wilson. Fuck it now, mate. Do your blind ranking on them? Do you know what I'm saying? That is enough to send you over the edge, mate. Honestly, absolutely. Fucking hell, mate. I'm gonna send a tweet in a minute, yeah, of that, and I'm gonna say like biggest PR prick going that fucking geezer. But we live and learn, ladies and gentlemen. We live and learn. We're we're against the grind. That's all it is. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, do. There you go. What's this one? Ajayi couldn't score a goal in the Scottish League playing for Celtic. Never mind West Ham. That is very true. That is. Fuck me, mate. I remember when he turned up, yeah. And yet again, this fan base. Sometimes I do wonder about people, right? They go, oh, you know what? He's going to be the next big thing, right? And we got him on the cheap. I think we got him for like 7 million or something. But I agree with Paul Grant there. Sadly, we never learn. So fucking Drew, we never learn at all. We never do, mate. We never do. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try it now, yeah? And now I'm going to wrap up. Let me try something here. Right. What's your top 5 signings from all them? Now, you got to say Bowen, you got to say Antonio. That's 2 straight away, right? After that, chuck an Arnautovic in there, maybe. That's 3. Who else you got? My 5 would be Andy Carroll, Carlton Cole. No, Andy Carroll, Diafra, Bowen, Antonio, and fucking hell. I say Arnautovic. Say Carlton Cole just misses out. There's better players there, but after that, mate, tell you what, imagine trying to rank all them. Sacco was so underrated, mate. Right, but yet again, Sullivan wouldn't want to pay the money, and so he had to go and get it elsewhere. Yeah, that joke, really. But you know, it is what it is. Let's have a look, see what's going on. Do, do, do. Do you know what, mate? These people, right? These people keep saying about oh, we should have got rid of Moyes. Yeah, honestly, listen, just admit it. Yeah, you got rid of Moyes because you thought Sullivan was going to bring in a top quality manager. He didn't. Who's that fall on? Some of these people, mate, mad. And all it is, it's different generations. Yeah, because I've noticed I'm dealing with a lot of the older generation at the minute. And they just will not accept it. They will not accept that partly they are at fault for this. But I mean, I want a Ferrari. Yeah, if a fucking if I get a Ferrari and it's got no engine and no wheels and it's just a shell, what is that to me? It's fuck all. Like honestly, I really could go to town with these people. I really could because their argument. Look, I'll show you this quick. Right, with me, got a geezer here, consistently on my case. Right, I've had to mute him at one stage because he's just driving me mental. Right, all I said is this. Yeah, I said fans wanted Moyes out but trusted Sullivan. Am I lying on that? Yeah, you want the manager out who's bring us the recent history. Yeah, which is fine, but you put your trust in Sullivan. You're basically saying, right, over to you, Sullivan. Now, forgetting that this geezer has fucked us up before. Right. So I said this: fans wanted Moyes out but trusted Sullivan. We should have forced the owner out before anyone else. And I don't think I'm being unreasonable there. Yeah, these protests should have been happening long time ago. Long time ago, right? And it's only because over the last 5 years that a lot of stuff has changed at West Ham, right? Concessions have changed. The way ticketing has changed, right? It would have happened sooner if it wasn't for COVID. COVID was the main thing. I agree with that comment and all. Stand by it, right? There was people actually saying, right, and this is no word of a lie, there was people saying, he's going to change my life. Timothy Steiden is going to change my life, right? And I was like, he ain't done nothing though. Like, the geezer's done nothing yet, and he's already saying it. I'll tell you what it is, and I'll be straight to the point of what it is. Yeah, people hated the manager at the time, and they used Timmy as the person that they believed in. What they forgot was Sullivan runs the fucking club, and Tim started, and all he cared about was himself. Yeah, and that is that, and he's come back full circle. So, you know, Moyes is a low block manager, conceding more goals in the last season than any other in the Premier League. Fine, but you're putting your trust in Sullivan. I'll never forget what I said after Forest away when we got absolutely battered 3-0 with Moyes. I said maybe we might need a change, but what you've got to understand is, right, who runs this club, and he runs it like his own fucking army barracks. Yeah, if you want change, the only change that I want, right, because I don't care about managers, really don't. I don't give a fuck who manages this club. You could get a geezer from the National League South. You could get Mark Whiting, the Dorking manager. I couldn't care less. But you got to win the games of football. And then there's people like that on there that keep going back to the past. Yeah, keep saying all this stuff. But these are the same people that put their faith in Sullivan. Now you got to now what it is, and this is the same thing, and I'm going to say this right now. It's the same thing right now, because yet again we've got to put our faith in Sullivan in this transfer window. So yet again, like, it's fucking unbelievable. You can't ask for change. Fucking, I swear I'm fucking dying. You can't ask for change, and when you get the change, it's like me changing my fucking bird, and then the new bird I get is carrying on with another man. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not like that's the person's fault, my fault. But you know, it's basic plumbing. Shit trickles down. Now changing while he's still here. That is comment of the night. What, read that, people. Absolutely agree. Moyes is the only manager he cares about, even now. What we got here? Let's get to Mark. Mark, if you want to come on, mate, you're more than welcome. The Tim Stein era was like a fever dream. I think personally it was a combo of being sick of Sullivan's dealings and praying he would have some sort of transfer god or cue. I'll leave it out there, Mark. I remember doing spaces, mate, right? And no word of a lie, there was people coming on and saying, their first thing they used to say to me, it used to drive me mental, mate. It used to absolutely drive me mental. The first thing they would say is, look what he done at Leverkusen. Right? Look what he done at Leverkusen. Look at what he done. And all I kept saying is, if you think David Sullivan is going to have some German little twat dictating to him, then you're off your head. And no one would listen, right? There was only about a handful of geezers who would actually listen, right? Who actually turn and say, I actually make you right, James, right? And a few of the boys who I know actually turned around and said, Steiner's the biggest PR merchant going. Yeah, but what it is, they won't know until it all falls apart at the end, right? So true. So true. Look at him now. Like, apparently, like, when he left, he was going to go and get a job. I don't even think he's got a job at the minute. So, you know. Also, Steiden was a good henchman to help both initial board and fans who wanted Moyes out. It's like bringing in a full guy to sack people, then bin him off too. Classic corporate move. God, mate. Yeah, but I blame some sections of the fans on that though, Mark. I really do. I genuinely do blame a few people on that because there was nothing, in my opinion, excuse me, there was nothing of any note to turn around and believe that Sullivan was going to do the right thing and bring in a top end manager. Yeah. I knew when was it? When was it? I knew in December that Lopetegui was on his way. Right. And for that, I want a good few quid out of it. Yeah. I knew Lopetegui was on his way. I remember saying it in a space. I said, I've got a feeling that it's Lopetegui from what I'm hearing. Right. And people went, nah, it ain't gonna be Lopetegui, right? No way, right? And I was like, I'm telling you, mate, what I'm hearing, it feels like him. He was at the game, excuse me, he was at the game against Arsenal. Right, we beat Arsenal 3-1. Fuck me, mate, I'm dying, mate. You know what I mean? If I do keel over tonight and go to the next realm, it's been a good one, people. Because my fucking throat is like seething at the minute. Yeah, he was at the Arsenal game when we beat them 3-1. Yeah. And someone said to me, a few mates of mine said, I'm telling you, James, we're hearing little things that it's him. He's the one in the frame, right? I was like, for fuck's sake, if we bring Lopetegui, that's just the worst sort of move ever. And it topped up, he did, which was craziness. Once Steiner was walking around the pitch like he was the boss, I knew he was finished. Yeah, mate. It was over then, mate. It really was. Right, listen, people, I'm gonna have to make a move, man. Right, so I think I'm on the verge of like collapse, and like I don't want to do it on E20 Zone TV's live feed. But what I want to do is wish you all a Merry Christmas and have a good one. My eyes have just gone absolutely mad, and I'm like coughing and sputting. I ain't got fucking COVID, mate. If I have, I'm definitely out. I'm definitely going to the next realm. Oh, yeah. Let's get to this. Nice one, James. Merry Christmas. When he did that Villa, interview versus Villa. No, it wasn't against. Was it against Villa? Yeah, you're right. It was against Villa, but I tell you what done it for me. Like, no, I've come back to life now. Right, I'm back in the game now. Come on, right. Like, we march on. East London forever. Right, I'll remember what done it for me was the Spurs game. The Spurs game was the one, right? When he's literally high-fiving all the people and he's spudding all the players before before we go out to battle. Like, it was it was mental. Oh, in the Villa interview, and oh yeah, it was Villa, yeah. Oh, that drove me over the edge, mate. And like, I think I remember saying like we got some fucking little nerd German twat literally just fucking spudding every prick and making out he's a player or a coach. It was weird behaviour, mate. Absolute weird behaviour. But um, if you do a Tommy and go out, at least it's doing what you love. Fucking hell, mate. Yeah, I know. I mean, Merry Christmas to you, brother. Have a good 2025. Getting to know you, all the lads on the spaces. This and the spaces ain't that bad, mate. I'll tell you that now. I remember many moons ago, people used to say, "Oh, all I do is mix with trolls." I don't. I mix with people that are prepared to speak. And these people know what they're talking about. Do you know what I mean? Some of these lads that I've spoke to over the years, right? Some of them have actually been absolutely bang on with certain things, like the four Krug thing that with Steiden. They knew that was iffy. The Lewis Guilherme thing, the Tim Steiden thing, where they turned around and said, basically, this geezer's using it for his own clout, basically. So yeah, I've learned a lot over the years with doing them spaces and listening to people. Because listen, I'm prepared to listen to people, mate. The problem is people won't bet who's the fuck it be. So, you know, it is what it is. But all I hope for from now till basically the end of the year is 2 wins. Will we get 2 wins? I don't know. I don't know. I think we win one and we lose one. I think we beat Fulham, lose against Brighton. I'm hoping for a draw against Brighton because they've got some hoodoo hex over us, mate. Honestly, and it is like driving us all mental at the minute. But you know, nevertheless, it is what it is, and we just have to crack on and keep going on. So, you know, and we'll be there. We'll all be there. Listen, have a good Christmas, and yeah, enjoy your day. I think I'm gonna be like, I actually feel like I might have something, yeah. And if I have, oh dear, mate, this might be my last ever stream, people. If it is, we're going out like we always do, mate. So, you know what I mean? Merry Christmas to you, right? If you're taking me, COVID, you can take me, mate. So, you know, it is what it is. Get me out of here. What trolls are West Ham supporters? I'm not a troll, James. James talks sense. No, you know what? Do you know what, mate? It's not that I talk sense. I talk from experience. Yeah. And I talk from I'm only talking of what I've seen before happen. I don't think people can grasp that. Yeah. I don't think they can. Do you know what I'm saying? But you know, it is what it is. Damien wants a present at his door. Well, you get a lot more than that, Damien. You get a lot more than that, son. You know what I mean? You keep mentioning my 15 goals for Krug for the season. Do you know what I'm saying? But you know what? That's a error on my part where I don't want to do that again. Do you know what I'm saying? So there you go. Right, that's enough from me. I'm rambling. Take care of yourselves. Be safe, be well, be lucky. Very Merry Christmas to all of yous. If I make it through, people, I will see you on the 27th after full and all of that game. We're back again. If not, listen, we was real in E20. That's all I'm going to say. We was real and for the people. Take care. Much love. Peace.